Hey guys, thanks for watching Precision Rifle Network. This is another installment of Weekend Wisdom. And I am going to give you my top 5 online resources for when it comes to precision rifle type stuff. So yeah, obviously there's a ton, and I had to just choose 5. So I'm going to pick 5 that I think are particularly interesting or useful. This could potentially be long, so I'm going to bust this out fast, hopefully just give you something to go off of, and you can research them all more in depth on your own. First one is Applied Ballistics website. You can see the .com up there at the top. What I wanted to show you here about the Applied Ballistics website, besides just all the stuff that's here, man, I mean, you can take a look at their product ecosystem little flyer here and show everything that they're into. But what I wanted to support today is the education. So let's go up to education, and then we're going to go down to the ballistics calculator. All right, and I don't know if you've got, this is maybe for the newer shooter, maybe you can't afford a Kestrel, 5700 Elite that costs $600 that's got Applied Ballistics built into it already as a solver, but you really want to use the ballistics, the Applied Ballistics solver. So they've got this here, which should help you. I'm going to blow this up a little bit for you guys, hopefully be able to see it a little bit better. So, sorry about that. So just a quick rundown of how to use this, okay? Your input units, I personally would change that to English, so you get inches and yards instead of other things. Select a bullet from bullet list. If you see kind of grayed out here, you've got 224 caliber, and then as you go up into the different categories, 243, we'll just go with that. Let's find our 105 target hybrid. You can choose the G1 or the G7 BC. I highly recommend the G7. It's just better for these modern bullets that we're using. So let's say we want the 105 hybrid target G7 BC. So we picked that for our bullet. Output in mils. It gives us our BC here on the left, the weight of the bullet, the diameter, the length of the bullet. Over on this side here, let's say we're shooting that bullet in a 6GT and our velocity is 30-20. And our zero range, 100 yards, sight height, mine in particular is 2.2, so I'll just throw that in there. Twist rate is, let's say, 1 in 7.5, all right? And we just keep going. Let's say we want it to spit out a wind speed, 5 miles per hour from the 9 o'clock or a full value wind. Let's put in 75-degree temperature. You can change your pressure. I'm not going to change that right now. Humidity, 50%. Heading, inclination, latitude, all that kind of stuff you can change, right? What I want to do is come down here and I'm going to go, I want my starting range to be start at 100 yards. I want it to stop at 1,000 yards, and I want it to spit it out in 25-yard increments. And then I'm going to calculate my range card. And what's going to pop up is going to be a table, basically your drop data table, if my internet were not crazy slow. And it's going to give you all of the data that you need, at least for your tri-dope, right? Now you can take this out to the range and set up a target at whatever, I don't know, 300 yards, and you can, find your elevation in mils, your drop, which this one for 300 yards is 0.89, so we'd round that up to 0.9. You'd put 9/10 on your elevation turret, you'd send around, accounting for 2/10 of wind, and hopefully you get an impact. If you don't, you can adjust from there, and there's ways to true it. But I just want to bring this up. What you can also do is you can, select just an image, however you do it on your computer. I'm on a Mac, so it's Shift Command 4, and you can do a selection, right? So I could take this whole table, select it. It's going to put it over here like this onto my desktop, into a printable file, and then I could print that out, or I could send it to my cell phone and have it on hand. So that's the first one. Taking a deep breath. Next one is going to be this twist rate calculator on the Berger website. So again, you can see the .com up at the top. We want to select a bullet from the list. Let's go with that same, actually let's switch to 6.5. So let's say we're going to shoot the 130 grain VLD target out of our 6.5 Creedmoor. All right, it's got our BC here. According to Berger's website, you've got your caliber again, the grain weight, you got the length of the bullet, muzzle velocity. Let's say we're getting that at 2850. So we're going to change that to 2850. This is a 1-8. And the temperature, again, 75. Let's say our altitude is 1,000 feet above sea level. Okay, now we're going to calculate our stability. And what you're going to watch is this chart down at the bottom. You see the red arrow? You see how it moves. So now, the fact that this arrow is to the far right of this scale in the comfortable stability means that we've chosen a good bullet weight with a good twist rate of the barrel for that particular bullet to be experience the maximum stability that it's able to experience. So the reason I wanted to show you this is because let's say you start hand loading for different rounds and you want to try different bullets. You want to pick one that is really stable. So let's say we take that, that same 6.5 and we go up to a 153 grain long range hybrid. Now I want you to watch what happens to, actually let's go to the 156 grain Elite Hunter. Now I want you to watch what happens with that red arrow when I click this and hit the calculate button. You see how that thing jumped way down, almost into the marginal stability range. So basically all I want to say is just because bullets aren't created equal, right? And different weights aren't created equal when it comes to different barrel twist rates. Will that bullet shoot out of that barrel? Yes, it'll shoot. And you might even get great groups, but understand that there are better choices for stability in long-range shooting if you were to choose something a little bit different. So I found this to be a pretty good resource when it comes to just kind of like, playing around with different bullet weights and stuff like that. So on to number 3. We're back to Sniper's Hide. If you watched the first episode of Weekend Wisdom, we picked a page off of Sniper's Hide that talked about weaponized math. Well, something you may not be aware of here on Sniper's Hide is this resources tab. And you click on that, and what you're going to get is pages of awesome data. Everything from mathematics, bullet stability calculations, powder burn rate charts, all different kinds of stuff here. Estimation of shot error due to rifle cant. And this is kind of, like the pros and the experts and just science-y people and mathematicians that are on this site. Like, the knowledge is incredible. And so those guys will put together spreadsheets and graphics and just documents on all of this stuff and post it up. And Frank goes through the work of putting all these things into this resources section on the Sniper's Hide website, the forum. And so, again, just kind of a little plug for him. He didn't ask for it. We're not really in partnership together or anything like that. I just really appreciate all of the information and data that's available on Sniper's Hide, and thought I would bring it to you. So Sniper's Hide, resources tab, and you can look through all of that stuff. All right, next one is Storm Tactical. And this seems like a fairly basic website, and it is. What you're interested in here is the downloadable and printable paper targets. All right, let's say I want their target pack, their MOA target pack. So I'm going to click on this, and what it's going to do is, again, my slow internet, it's going to bring up this PDF of all these different targets. I think the MOA target pack is something like 64 targets in total. And if I just scroll down, it just pages and pages and pages. But what you would do from there is to export that as a PDF, name it whatever you want, save it to my desktop, and then it already exists on my desktop. So I'm just going to cancel out of this. But basically, what you're doing is putting that onto your desktop. You can open it in a PDF file, and then you can scroll through that PDF file page at a time, and then just select whatever page you want your printer to print off. And there's all kinds of these, dot drills in various different sizes and just all kinds of stuff. I'll kind of scroll way to the bottom of the page here. You can see some of the others. There's just a plethora. And so in the MOA targets, I think there's 64 different pages of free targets that you can print off. And in the Mills target pack, there's something like 124 different pages of targets that you can print off and use for zeroing or for practice. Like dot drills are very, very common and highly recommended practice for long-range shooting. You set up a dot drill page like this down there at 100 yards, and then you stand up behind the gun, and then you pop down to prone, get your proper hold, go through all your fundamentals, take a shot, and then did you hit the red or did you hit the black circle or not? And then you can just wash, rinse, repeat on each of these circles, one shot per circle. That's a very good, simple 100-yard training regimen that you can do for yourself. So I thought that one was pretty cool. So I'll get out of that. The last one, number 5, that I want to tell you about is Gun University. I don't know if you're tracking with this page yet or not. I have started working with Gun University this year, as well as a couple of other guys that you may recognize their names. This is basically a resource for, it doesn't matter whether it's concealed carry or it's federal firearms license stuff or it's just pistol, rifle, shotgun reviews. This is owned, put together by Ryan Kleckner. You should recognize that name. If not, you can read his bio here, former Special Ops sniper. And his partner, Roy Cheshin, and who was an arms dealer. But those are the two main guys. And then if you if you want to scroll down and just see who else kind of writes for them and writes articles and works with them on this and makes up this page, it's pretty good, group of guys down here, writers and contributors. You got Kyle Lamb, you should recognize that name if you've been in the firearms industry. Got yours truly over here, kind of a precision rifle guy, obviously. Mr. Ryan Hay from Magneto Speed, Kalen Wojcik, I'm sure you recognize him. You got Jens down here, and you can just read about all these different guys that are contributors to this site. But what's cool about some of their reviews, let me just click to one that I did for them recently on the H&K VP9, is that it's kind of a rating system. So we go down and we do a long form review of the firearm, and the cool thing is we don't have to hold any, we don't have to pull any punches. If we hate the gun, we can say that we dislike it, right? But at the very end of it, you have to give it a grade. And so what I like about the way that they've designed this is that you come down here and you get a pros and a cons list according to the author, whoever did the review, and the gun gets a report card based on reliability, accuracy, shootability, ergonomics, and value. And it gets a grade based on each of those things. And then you can give each gun a final grade. And so I just find that to be a pretty cool way of doing a gun review, and this is a very helpful website, and so I thought that'd be a good thing to share with you guys. So that's it for today, guys. Hopefully you appreciated the weekend wisdom. Those are my kind of top 5 online resources for precision rifle or gun related content on the internet. So guys, hit that subscribe button, consider supporting through Patreon, and as always, stay tuned for more great content from Precision Rifle Network.